Hello, my name is Nikolai, and I'm a quant energy analyst at StormGeo in the Nena Analysis team. This week, in the weekly power market update, I'll be discussing the new sum allocation market coupling mechanism that was implemented for SE3 last Wednesday. So what is sum allocation? Well, basically, sum allocation is an export capacity limitation out of SE3. And this capacity is referred to as SE3 to SE3 LS. Now, to understand sum allocation, we can look at how the market coupling looked like before sum allocation was implemented. Then, order capacities, export capacities from SE3 were set individually. And that meant that for certain hours, we saw that the trade capacity in SE3 were underutilized. So to improve this, sum allocation was proposed. And how that works is that instead of setting individual border capacities, we now define a net export capacity limitation out of SE3. And that capacity can now be distributed for each of the two bordering regions. And if we look at the figure down to the right, as an example, we see that we have, in this example, an export capacity from sum allocation of 1000 megawatts. And we also will see a transit flow here from DK1 to NO1. And this transit flow passes through SE3. And that means that the new import capacity for NO1 under sum allocation in this certain scenario will be 1715 megawatt. So basically, sum allocation increases trade capacity in SE3 and allows for import flows or transit flows to occur. So why has sum allocation been implemented? Well, it's a response to the last 2 years' major changes in the Nordic power system. First of all, we saw a loss of production in Western Sweden from closing the nuclear reactors Ringhals 1 and 2. We also have seen a large increase in wind power production in northern Sweden. Also, which will be relevant and more relevant, is the Olkiluoto 3 nuclear reactor coming online in Finland. And also, we've seen an increase in export capacity from Norway to UK and Germany. And what this has created, basically, is a very strong east-west energy flow in the physical grid. And this has made the flow down to SE4 from SE3 quite difficult. And for this reason, the Swedish TSO had to put limitations on the trade capacity out of SE3. So, with the new sum allocation mechanism, we will see something that might be a bit peculiar, and that is what's called non-intuitive flows. And that is a consequence of having these transit flows I already mentioned. So if we look at the previous example I showed before, we've seen for certain hours that you have a transit flow from a higher priced DK1 to a lower priced SE3. And as I said, this has occurred already in several hours since sum allocation implementation, and we believe that this will occur often, at least until summer. Now, sum allocation has been fully implemented in the Nena's Nordic price model, and if we look at February the 5th, we actually see that we have these non-intuitive flows basically the whole night, where we had a higher price, much higher price in DK1 compared to SE3, but we still see these non-intuitive transit flows from DK1 to NO1. All right, so with that, I would like to thank you for watching and see you next time.